KCAAradio.com.
KCAA. I go by the name Mike Flex, and this is the sit down on Inland Empire Radio Airwaves, casual conversations on KNBC, KCAA, from Victorville to Temecula, from Pomona to Palm Springs. We are the IE. Yes, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Casual Conversations. We are back for another.
We are back.
Dope episode.
We got a good show for him today.
We got a good show. It's Father's Day weekend, so we had put our heads together and we came up with a fantastic show for you guys.
How
today.
was your Father's Day, man?
Father's Day was, I hate saying fantastic, but is there another word for fantastic?
Wonderful.
A little bit more wonderful.
Exciting.
It was very good. Very
Family
good.
treated you good?
Went to Orange County on Friday, and I tried out some VR. VR technology, did the video games.
Okay.
What I learned is, yes, you will get lost in that world. I understand
kidding
that
me?
there's so much money to be made with that.
You can see.
Son, you won't leave
I
that.
know,
You won't
I know.
leave. You won't leave. You'll spend all your dough, and you won't leave. I had a fantastic time. I had to walk out of there, but I did notice that where I was at, I was the only one. So I held it down for the culture. Didn't misbehave. I acted accordingly. I said thank you. I went camping also.
Yeah.
Excuse me. At Bonita Falls, Lido Creek. It's up Sierra. You take Sierra all the way up. Just keep going off into the mountains, and you'll reach there after you have no signal. If you have no signal, then you've reached your destination. I was off the grid.
See, that's cool.
I was off the grid, pen and pad, no cell phone, no nothing. But I had a great time. How was your weekend, bro?
Man, I chilled with my pops. He's at home right now because he wasn't feeling good, so I just kind of went shopping for him and spent some time with him. We cooked. My mom and my cousins were there. I mean, it was great. It was just all family. We huddled around him because he hasn't been feeling too good. But
Okay.
But he still had a good Father's Day, and he got some great gifts, and it was good to hang out with my dad for a minute. Yeah.
That's what you have to do because we only got time. We don't have, and you got to spend that time.
You only get one father.
Well,
if that.
You got two fathers. You got the Father in the sky.
Yeah, that is true.
Let's get into it. What was happening around the Inland Empire? Juneteenth. Did we celebrate it? It was on the 19th, I believe it was, or 17th, excuse me. What day is Juneteenth?
19th.
The 19th.
But people take different times of the week and weekends because of venues but there was like 5 or 6 Juneteenth events going on.
Yeah.
There was one in San Dimas, one in San Bernardino, one in Colton. So, hey.
This
word got out.
one I saw, the High Desert also. This one was held at San Bernardino Valley College on the 17th. They do a lot of stuff. It was called Stomp the Yard Edition. Had over 1,000 attendees. And as we already know what Juneteenth is to celebrate, it was 2 years after. What's the history here?
The day slavery was over.
The day slavery was
you
over, but it was
running to tell another slave slavery was over like they didn't believe you. You better get back to work.
Yeah. So, okay, Juneteenth celebrate nationwide every year on the 19th, acknowledges the emancipation of African Americans. The holiday provides an understanding of the black community's past struggles and triumphs that continue to bring hope today.
Bring reparations.
Well, yeah. They're not going to do that, G.
You don't think, man? Come on now. It's already on the ballot. Some states are
you
already
no
doing it. What was I say? Dallas started giving reparations to those people? Yeah. But that's only one state. And how did they gauge what they were going to get? I don't get that part.
Well,
you know how much 40 acres is now?
That's going to be hard to determine who should get it and who should not get it, and that's the problem.
You might be too light skinned. You might have some.
Yeah. You did.
You light skinned brothers only gonna get half the money, so it's all good.
Some of the performers at this event at the
dark guys
college
are gonna get
was.
paid.
Do you know any of these names? Some of the performers here was Yadida Page, Amori, the songstress. I remember her. Yeah.
She was the one in Palm Springs with us.
Visit Palm Springs. She did a fantastic job out there.
Was,
Today's word is fantastic, everybody. I keep repeating myself. That was going on there. All right, so let's get into why we're here. My guest, or our guest, let me get my paperwork together. I've known our guest through a mutual friend, and whenever he speaks or spoke on this guest, it's always with high regards. The character of this man transcends boundaries. He needs no introduction. His organization, called Fathers in Hip Hop, is well known for many years. He has taken the culture and put it on his back, championing good men, good fathers, good healthy community, and that's why we have him here. He goes by the name of Justified. Ladies and gentlemen, Justified's in the building.
Yo. How you doing, man? How you doing?
What's going on, bro?
I'm blessed. Hey, I'm gonna need you to email that to me. That I need to add that to my EPK.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds good.
It took me all year, but it's
That's all good.
That's
Yeah,
what we do.
But
We big up our
that introduction.
Thank you for
right
coming
there,
in on
boy.
short notice. We spoke on Saturday, and I was unable to go up to your event out there, but I'm glad you was able to make time and come down here and share some of this knowledge and information that you have, and I appreciate you.
Man,
bro.
I appreciate that.
What was going on Saturday up there in the Hill?
Oh man, we was doing that 2023 Fathers in Hip Hop Awards.
Good.
And it was definitely a milestone moment for the movement, being that we crossed over into a level of acknowledgement to a couple political figures. We had the mayor of Apple Valley, Scott Nassif, came out and received the Fathers in Hip Hop Award. We had the fire chief of the Victorville Fire Department, David Foster, came out and received the Fathers in Hip Hop Award, among some other good men. My boy Rockbox, Young Music. I don't want to say you start saying names. You got to name everybody.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah.
Did you give them a trophy or what was it?
Oh man, they get that official Fathers in Hip Hop plaque. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's nice, something you can hang on your wall, and we kept it real classy. We've been doing these Fathers in Hip Hop Awards, but what was so special about this one was that we got to move the movement into another space, and that's to bring those elected officials out to participate in a movement for fathers. And it was that we were able to connect on fatherhood and be able to have conversation about the community from a father standpoint. And that's the approach that I'm moving the movement with, is I don't care about your religious beliefs. I don't care about your political party. I'm interested in talking about fatherhood and what our roles and responsibilities are and how we can work together to impact our community. So
let me ask you this. Let's start from the beginning. How did you reinvent yourself? How long has this company been around? Because when we first initially met, you were a recording artist,
right?
And you still record.
I do. I just dropped a new project, but it's all the way independent because I'm only allowing it to be bought directly from me. Haven't released it to the digital platform yet.
Ownership, money.
I mean, it's just it's now money. Your streams and all that. You gotta wait a little while, to get that bread. But that hand-to-hand combat, and that's what I came up on. That was the roots to my movement, was selling out the trunk. So, it's only right that I have them. Now, I'm not on the out the trunk every day in the parking lot like I used to be, but when I have a special event, it don't hurt to have the CD on the table available for purchase. You know what I mean? Get a couple extra dollars.
Do you still sell a lot of CDs, though?
I'll be honest with you, brother. The message is so powerful that oftentimes the purchase isn't necessary. I just give it to you. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
And, if they want to bless me with a donation or something for it, back in the day when I was on my super grind, I was trying to pay bills and trying to, take care of life. Yeah, and it was hard to, it was all about the re-up. I got to sell 100 CDs, pay these bills, but go re-up. God have elevated me to another place that I'm not dependent on my bills to be paid off of what I sell, record wise. So, like I said, the message is powerful enough to give it away and understand that that's a seed being sown, and a harvest will come back.
Yeah, it will come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Is all your music positive, or I mean, what kind
Nah,
of
man,
No,
I be talking about
just-
the bees, and no, I'm just playing. Nah, my music has always been a direct reflection of the life that I live. So if you look at some of those titles, you can kind of see what this
Don't you
project
worry,
is about.
What's the
Hard in
titles?
the paint,
Hard in the Paint.
stand the rain, where I'm at, and fatherhood.
Bang.
Yeah, those are
All right. So,
that qualifies as a clean album right there. Yeah.
But I mean,
Is it gossip?
it's a little expressive explicitness.
I
It's,
see.
it's not raunchy or derogative. It's just sometimes you got to say something to
I'm
make it
positive, but I
words-
will slap
words
you. I
matters,
like that.
yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing Fathers in Hip Hop as a movement, 501c, the whole business? How long? Why? Why did you want to do this so much?
I tell people that I took my pain and converted it into the passion to pursue my purpose. My wife passed away from cancer in 2014.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And 11 months prior to that, my mother passed. So here I am, unemployed, independent hip hop artist with two small children. My daughters were 6 and 8. And now I have to balance that. And it was, some strong opinions that I wouldn't be able to live up to that responsibility. And I felt different. In fact, I knew different. I knew that where I was weak, God was strong. Where I couldn't, He could.
Shit,
And,
most brothers will be feeling weak at that moment. 2 kids,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying. When you're weak, He is strong. Ain't that the song we used to sing?
Yeah. Yeah, you get props for that, man.
Nah.
You get props for that.
So how long did it take you
2
to get
kids.
out of that mental state to get back onto the grind?
Well, I think the grind never stopped because that was my therapy to keep going, to keep pushing, because now I have a responsibility. I always had the responsibility, but you feel like when you got your mate, I'm out here taking risk, and if something happened, my wife gonna hold it
got your
down.
back. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now you're in a situation to where I can't even go to the corner store to grab some swishers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I got to get the girls in the car. Come on, we got to run around the even though it's just around the corner, I can't leave my 6 and
yeah.
8-year-old.
Heck no, not in
It
America.
changes.
So that changed my hustle, because at that point I was still very much so out the trunk. You know what I mean? And I couldn't take my 6 and 8-year-old out there into the street and push my product. So I would get my grind on from 8 when I drop them off at school till I pick them up around 3. I could move, but God just brought other opportunities for me to be able to earn income. And the whole Fathers in Hip Hop movement really started from backstage conversations with other artists and social media. Everybody know your business when you share it. So a lot of people, knew that I lost my wife. They saw that I was with the girls, and I remember the first person that really acknowledged it, that I didn't have a personal relationship with, was Sugar Free. He came out to the high desert to do a show, and we didn't know each other on a personal level. Like, I didn't even know.
He's a cool dude. I didn't
he's
perform
super
with him a
solid,
couple
super
times.
solid. But he said, "Let me holler at you, Jack." And pulled me off to the side. He's like, "Man, my condolences, to your mom and your wife, and I love what you're doing with
How
the
did he know?
girls."
Yeah.
That's what I look. I said, "How you know?" He
Yeah,
said,
you up here.
He say, "I've been watching."
Oh.
And then he used my own line on me. He said, "I follow the wings."
You kind of sounded like him when you said that.
Yeah, I got this.
You come back saying what I want to do.
And that was deep. And then he started sharing.
I heard he's a
About
very
his children.
religious guy, or he's spiritual.
He's
gentleman.
he's very down to earth and up in the sky at the same time. You know what I mean? But he shared something about his mother and his children, and that was what it was. You know what I mean? And then I ended up doing a record, with Dub C, and we were in the studio, and he was like, "Man, I see what you're doing out there, bro." And we in the studio sharing pictures. He's showing me his kids, and I'm showing
See?
him mine. And so I said, "Man, what would it be like if the world could hear these conversations of us men in the industry, and therefore, fathers in hip hop, I wanted to do a documentary. So I hollered at my boy David Wilmore. I reached out to some B list, A list, whatever you want to call artists, and asked them to pull up and have a dialogue. I do an interview, and fatherhood would be the topic. Some of the bigger names, they don't believe in things till they see it. So I said, okay, let me take it to the independent artists, and I'll be able to offer them some exposure and visibility and have great content, discussing fatherhood. So we started filming that.
That's what's up. I ain't never even heard nothing like that in hip hop right now.
Man, it's there now though, like I said, and you give God all the glory, but I do see that a fire was sparked. And I'm not here to say that I was the first, because I probably wasn't. But I do see God have inspired and opened other people's minds to the subject matter of fatherhood. And shout out to all the movements representing fatherhood. I'm not the type of dude that's going to be like, oh, they copying me, because God is the giver of all vision. And if he gave it to me, he can give it to them. My only thing is, let's connect and do it together. Let's take your movement, my movement, his movement, her movement, and put it together to really maximize God's vision, because he never intended for fathers in hip hop to be just me, or I wouldn't have put the S on the end of it. It would have been father in hip hop.
You threw God out about 8 times right now. You really clean.
Man, my name Justified, brother. It ain't no coincidence.
Wow.
That's his real name.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, God is everything, bro, and it's not to be churchy, it's not to be holier than thou, but that's just where, like my record says, where I'm at.
Well,
I can't imagine being able to do some of the things that the movement has been able to do if it wasn't a plan. And my steps was already paved. I just had to follow it. And,
you read the
Bible
every day?
A lot? I don't. When I was little, man, we had devotion every morning before we went to school. My father prayed with us before we went to school.
Yeah, I went through that too.
I went to church. So, and I need to read. I ain't making an excuse for not reading, but the word is in me.
Yeah.
And the Bible is still being written. The story is still being told. So open up your books to the chapter Justified. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 1, verse 2.
You think there's going to be a new Bible? That's deep.
It doesn't even need to be a new Bible. It's just what they called it. News
the
is
new
Bible.
Revelation.
I mean, whatever. If somebody want to market it and try to make some money like that, but unless your words was given to you directly from God, I wouldn't want to make a new Bible. You understand me?
Well, the Bible is nothing but a story
about
a particular period of time that happened from Jesus being born, and before that in his death, and the locust.
That's the New Testament. Yeah. Take it back to Adam, brother.
Yeah, man. So
and the heavens and the stars and the.
If there's a new story being written, it's gonna be rough. This Bible gonna be rough. The new one.
Well, I mean, it's ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's just a story that's been told.
Everything is happening.
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
If they were still authoring the Bible, you might have the Book of Obama.
Now you're going too far.
No, I'm
Turn to the book of Obama.
Yeah, but he would be in the new.
Turn this on.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, I ain't even on no political with it. I'm just saying that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, those men's autobiographies are chapters of this world.
Mm-hmm. I can see what you're saying.
So
with
it's
that.
just we still living in what is Bible times.
Whoa.
We're in God's time. It's His
we are
time.
in Bible time.
We're still here.
Yeah,
we living in the
crazy.
end that the Bible talk about.
Yeah.
So I mean, the story ain't done being told, brother.
I'm looking at your Instagram. You got a lot of famous people on your page. You got Corrupt.
Drop
you got
some names.
DW Flame out of Long Beach. How was it working with these gentlemen? Are they did gravitate to you because of the message? I know DW got kids.
Well, when I brought DW Flame up to the high desert, it was for a performance, but he was also presented with a Fathers in Hip Hop Award.
Oh, and he's a young father too.
He's a young father, and he's super solid. And in my business, I try to look for fathers. I want to book fathers. I want to book men that are bringing that bag home to take care of kids and families. I'm not gonna so into the artists that are selling destruction, that aren't putting it
Selling
back into the life.
destruction.
You know what I mean? So, you know,
You hit the
I'm
nail
not here
on
to
the head
judge
with that.
nobody,
I know.
but you could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. So, if I'm looking for apples, I ain't messing with them bananas. You understand me?
Here we go. Let me ask
Slippery
you this.
cats.
Let me ask you this. This is from the robot. You know, I used the chat and I threw in something. It says, how has hip hop music and culture played a role in addressing social justice issues and promoting change? How do you feel about the state of hip hop right now?
Okay, now we gonna hit the subject. Let's do that. You go
Since
first.
you're in, since
our
you're
gue-
since
our
you're a
guest.
father in hip hop, I love hip hop. I'm part of hip hop, but I
ain't got no
I have a
choice.
disdain. I have a disdain right now. You know,
Speak.
it's just
Well,
the
well,
message.
I
the
feel
whole
hip hop
cult-
has been perverted. Is It's so powerful, and when you have something powerful, the powers that be want to dilute that, and they find a way. Like right now, if you just look at mainstream,
Yeah.
what are we saying?
Do you like any new rappers?
That was me blowing.
I see that smile on your face.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000, man. I probably couldn't even name 5 new dudes.
Yeah,
You know, except for the ones that you just can't help but hear. You know what I mean? But I don't, you know, and I'm not saying that there's no good new artists out. It's just what the radio is pushing and what is popular.
The algorithm.
It keeps us in poverty. So I don't really like to listen to stuff that's not gonna push me forward in my purpose, but will dumb me down and distract me from what I'm really supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
That's.
But you're not going to
what's
turn
up.
your back on none of these youngsters, right?
No, we want to give them opportunity. We want to show them something different because they believe that that's the only way they can get to it.
Yeah.
Is they have to do what everybody else is
Gimmicks,
doing.
gimmicks, a lot of gimmicks.
And the labels and the
Deeper
people
than
that's
gimmicks.
giving the deals, this is what they want.
That's what they want.
I remember, you know, when I was 13, 14, you know, rapping and living in Compton, and, you know, it was hard to get in studios at that time in my life, but it was like, when I did meet some connects, they was like, oh, you got to be a little harder. You don't cuss. You gotta throw some, you know, you gotta switch it up. And it was like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what we're doing with group economics, we are investing into the young artists, but I have a criteria.
Pause. Did you say group economics?
Bang.
Isn't that Dr. Claude Anderson's catchphrase? But now it's ours that we actually, because he did it back in the day. He wrote a book.
Group economics?
Yeah, he got a book on it, and it's an old book, but now it's just coming to, we need to implement that.
Well, now that
We
just
need
goes
to.
to what we just said. The God is the giver of vision, because I have no idea who you're talking
Dr.
about.
Claude Anderson? Okay.
Never read the book.
What?
But the same
Yeah.
God that gave him the vision for group economics
It got to you.
has,
It got
and
to
not
you.
only in my mind, it's a bunch of cats that probably
It's talking to
are
group,
living
yeah.
it
Yeah.
and doing it, and maybe they just haven't identified it as that topic or title, but group economics is the way that it's been getting done for years. Just unfortunately ain't really been capitalized on by us.
Yeah.
Oh, other groups.
Who is your favorite rapper?
Favorite, I'd have to go with Tupac.
Okay.
And not because of the hit 'em ups, not because of the ambitions of a rider,
spoke.
but because of the Dear Mamas, because of the Keep Your Head Up, because of the I Ain't Mad at You, those songs that penetrated to your spirit. And he said he might not change the world, but he will spark the mind
change.
of the ones that will. You know what I
Change it,
mean?
yep.
And his music sparked something in me young, and it's like that's who I look up to. That's the greatest of my time. I don't know about any other time, but that to me, he was the greatest of, you know, of the time that I'm growing up. And
I like
living in.
KRS-One. He was.
Oh,
nice.
no, he's dope.
KRS-One got a Fathers in Hip Hop Award. Imagine that.
Really?
Bang. Yeah, I met KRS-One. He came up to do a show. I'm in the high desert, and they booked me to host it. And, you know, I printed up a plaque for him and caught him, you know, backstage. And when I showed it to him and I told him what it was, he was like, yo,
He loves.
this
and he,
is
I know.
dope.
And he had something to say about it, didn't he?
Oh, he gave me a beautiful drop.
That
It's on
brother,
Instagram. Go look for it
No,
later.
man,
I'll
that
tag
brother
you in it.
kicks knowledge. You could throw any subject at him. Politics.
He said the father will take you farther.
Yeah. Yo, Eric, not yet. Could you play that clip that says Father's Day impactful clip? Play that, and then we're gonna go into commercials.
Bang! Oh, y'all got clips. Y'all fancy.
Earth, no one on this earth will love you and care for you more than your father. No one. No one on this earth will love you and care for you and have a burn in his heart for you more than your father. And it's important that you know that your father is the most valuable person in your life. Irrespective of who he is, with all of his flaws and all of his mistakes, he is your father. And don't ever think in your life that any man on this earth will ever love you and care for you and want goodness for you more than your father. Impossible. I'll challenge anyone.
Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna go into commercial break. I'm gonna read my spots real quick.
Made me want to call my dad, man.
I'm saying that was a powerful clip.
Powerful.
I loved it, and his beard. He was very powerful. Okay. First plug goes out to 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. Affordable timepieces. Remember, you cannot purchase class, but you can always afford style. 17 Watches. You can find them on Instagram or Facebook. Weekly specials. I like watches. I'm a watch guy. You know, I have a couple pieces, you know, for different moments. This is 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. Please check him out, www.17thwatches.com. And when you purchase a watch, please use code 1V2 at checkout because I need that credit. That's 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. 17 Watches by Chris Johnson. Next plug goes out to, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what Zumba is? Do you know what Zumba is? Well, it's a certain kind of
There she
dance.
is, Miss Lady herself.
There you go. Want to learn Zumba? Want to learn dancing? It's healthy. We, Lelaine Dixon Zumba, I should remember her name. Lelaine Dixon Zumba has a free remote class that you can join from in your home. Find her on IG or Facebook. That's Lelaine Dixon Zumba.
Let's talk more
It's
dance.
time to move to the latest Zumba dance. She selects only the best songs, and she gets you moving, gets the heart rate pumping.
You got some footage of her show?
I actually attended the class last week for a song, so she might put something out there.
Yeah, we need to have a clip of her. Yeah. I show her breaking people's backs.
As a black man, I don't have any rhythm. I figured that out. Anyway, check her
Rhythmless
out,
nation.
Lelaine Dixon Zumba, and her class is on Thursday, 7 p.m. to 7:45. That's Lalaine Dixon Dixon Zumba. And this one goes out to clip number 3. You need a website, need a social media manager, business cards, and more. Please contact Portia Irvin.
Portia Irvin.
Portia Irvin. What's this? P. Irvin. It was P. Irvin at
Are you dogging my boo-boo?
No, it was one word. It sounded like Irvin, but it's not. It's P. Irvin.
Look at that pretty picture of her. Oh.
P. Irvin at consultant.com. Please find her on IG at Creations Inspire.
She is dope, y'all.
Websites, business cards. Please contact Portia Creations. P. Irvin at consultant.com. On IG again, that's Creation Inspire.
Get it right.
2. What's he talking about right there? You good? You on the phone? Okay. Those are my plugs. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to RJ Polo. He had Wale come out last week. This week he has Jeremiah. So please, single couples. If you're single or a
He
couple,
said single couples.
Hey, out there.
They don't come in separate doors.
single couples, go down there. You'll have a great time at
Yes.
Mixed Champagne's Lounge, and that's in
Single
Ontario.
couples.
Wanna
Is that
give
the
a-
new relationship? Single couples?
Single couples is a new thing.
I love
we
you,
got
but I don't know.
DeMarco, he was a guest last week. Want to give a shout out to him. Shout out to Cafe Organics, TF Win, Mickey Brown. Also, Janet Jackson was in town. Did you know that?
Yes, yes, and she's looking like she's aging backwards.
Yeah.
She still looks
He
good.
was at the Yamava.
Yeah, yeah,
Also, Kevin Hart was in town too. Did you know that? He was there. And Earthquake, I heard, is coming to town this
yes.
weekend. Or
Actually,
some weekend.
Pierre told me because Pierre's gonna be out here with him too. He
Are you
called
going
me
to try
told
and
me,
attend that one?
You know what? I'm gonna try and get down on that because Earthquake has a hell of a show.
He's one of the best.
He's one of those comedians that when he has other comedians, because I did a show with him in L.A., he makes you look like you're even better than you were.
Damn.
Yeah, because everybody's so excited, and then you come up and just do regular. You're gonna have fun. I love performing with him.
Eric, I got a clip named, it's the first one under Hot Mess, Zooted Comedy. Play that real quick, and then we're going to get right back into the shizo.
Day is the worst holiday in the world. I've done the research. I already know. Let me tell you something. Mother's Day is the second most celebrated holiday in the world. Christmas is first. So that means it's Jesus, then your mama. You know what Father's Day fall at? Number 20. I can't think of 18 other holidays. Do you realize Halloween is number 6? Does that mean ghosts and goblins go before fathers? Arbor Day is number 13. I don't even know what that is. I just know it come before me. That's crazy. Columbus Day is number 16. Celebrating Columbus Day is like celebrating somebody finding money in your house. Where you get that $50 from? I discovered it in your kitchen.
Yeah, that was Sadiq. That was a funny clip. Speaking on that, guess how much money is spent on Father's Days?
Probably not as much as Mother's Day.
No, Mother's Days is knocking it off at $35 billion.
For real.
And 25 billion for Father's Day. Just letting you know. There's
At least there's some Billies going out. Okay, all right, all right. That means there's some fathers out there doing their thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So in the studio, this casual conversation, KCAA, we're back in studio with our guest, Justified Fathers in Hip Hop.
Justified.
Man, I'm so happy to have you down here, brother.
Don't say my name like that again. No, I'm just messing with you.
What did you say?
Justified.
Is there
My
any
God.
tips you could share with young fathers, with your girls? Was there any kind of things that you did in their younger years that you thought was actually valuable and you would like to share? Any kind of extras? Because I got one tip, but what's your tip to young fathers?
I think the most important thing, and I had to learn this the hard way, as it is our job, to provide and to protect and all those things, the engagement is very important. And the reason I say that is because when my wife to have to do it alone to do the things that you need to be